È altissimo, guarda.
Ok.
Eccoci.
English. So hello, my friend.
Oh,
Today I
right.
have the pleasure to speak with a very interesting guy that I stumbled upon YouTube, thanks to the algorithm, strangely enough, which is Gabriele. Gabriele, I know
Yeah,
that you are a magician, a software engineer,
I am. Yeah, of
and
course. I think
Sicilian,
I've seen
right?
that's it.
Now you
That's
show
important.
us.
Yeah, I'm Sicily.
Show us
Okay,
something.
so,
Show us something.
I don't know this. What should I show you? Do you really want to spend your time on a magic trick? I
What?
can do it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'll put it in the middle. It's like a small. Did you see the card? I don't remember. Did you see it? Or...
Nope, I didn't.
Oh, that's. Tell me stop whenever you want. Come on.
Okay, stop.
Too late. Tell me stop again.
All right, stop.
You have it?
I have it. I have it.
Okay.
I have it.
Great. So tell me just think of your card for a second.
Sorry?
Think of your card for a second.
Yeah.
Black,
I'm thinking.
red. Don't do nothing. Just black, red, black. Black. It's black.
Black.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like it's in the middle, right? 6, 7, 8. It's a 5. Black. Clubs,
Should
spades.
I?
Don't say anything. Spades, clubs. It's a 5 of clubs. Is it? Kind of sure.
No, it's not.
It's not really.
It's not.
What was it?
No, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Okay. I thought it was like a misreading. You cannot really do magic through the camera. I hate it actually because it's something you do with people. You have them close.
Yeah.
You just move. There's a lot of psychology involved.
Pick up. Does it work for you?
No. They always ask you. I don't know. Actually, no, it doesn't work. I mean, I never tried it to pick up. Actually.
Oh, come on, bro. Never tried.
Okay, let's say I didn't like I didn't want to do it for this. Okay, it just worked. So I was doing some magic at some point. What's your name? And this is my number. Okay, all right. But just really, I don't care. All
right. So beside being a magician, you're also a software engineer. Can you please introduce yourself to the people? My channel is filled with not Italians, unfortunately. By the way, we are both Italians. Maybe this is shocking for people watching me. I'm not a Russian. I'm not American. Sono italiano di origine marocchina, come Gabriele.
But I'm not from Morocco, actually. I'm not from Morocco, like you said.
I'm a strange mixture. I'm a strange blend.
All right.
But I live in Tuscany. Now I'm in Rome. Sono toscanaccio, bestemmie. Ci capiamo. You are from a city very close to Palermo, as I saw.
Yes, I'm from Palermo. It's like 20 minutes from Palermo, so we can say amazing. I'm from Palermo. What we can say is my magic is not that good through the camera, but my software engineering skills, I hope they're a bit better. So a little introduction. I've been practicing a lot in computer science. I've been studying and practicing things for my whole life. Now I'm 22, and I've been doing always IT during my life. So it was in high school, I was doing an IT high school. In university, I chose computer science. And during this period of time, I built a lot of stuff. I built MVPs, I built stuff for our companies or for privates. And at some point, and now we arrive to the thing you are really more interested to, during like the first year of uni, I discovered that a lot of people were doing internships in big companies, and I was not. So I was very angry about it. I was like, why nobody's telling me this in Italy? Because in Italy it's uncommon to do internships. So I just started the research with one of my colleagues. It was like, he's a genius, I would say, one of the best technical people I've ever known. His name is Caleb. Okay. He came back.
Yeah.
I was saying with Caleb, we started searching for internships, and now we could do it as Italians because university were not helping us. And end of first year of uni, we had an internship. It was a long journey. We can talk about it if you want. But we got internships in Meta and JPMorgan, the two companies, and we discovered a lot about this space. that for people outside Italy maybe is more common, but still I am not sure of this. And for us was like a new universe, new people, new stuff. I did 3 internships at the end of the day. Like I did 1 internship on the second year and 1 on the third year, and I loved it. It was amazing. So yeah.
So just a little background. You are in university like now, or you're just finished?
I'll be graduated in 13 days.
Really? Oh, congrats!
Yeah.
Congrats! And
finished, yeah.
I know that there is a little interesting part here because you switched from engineering to, I don't know how to say in English. We have computer science in Italy. We have
computer science.
Ingegneria is computer science in Italy, and informatica is.
No. Ingegneria informatica is computer engineering, and computer science is scienze informatiche. So there's actually the same difference outside is in Italy. It's the same.
The
so
question,
I switched from one to the other.
What is the actual difference? You stumble upon this, and for everyone is a mystery.
I mean, yeah, it is a mystery. I would say that mainly it depends on the faculty you're going to. So some faculty they are more similar, and some they're more different. I'm thinking of Imperial College, which does in London does computer engineering, and there's a lot of engineering inside the faculty. Not really mathematical under some point of views. But yeah, the main differences I've found, I've done like a month and a half for computer engineering in Italy, so I don't really know if what I'm saying is correct, but what differences I've found is that first is a inflationated faculty, so it was a lot of people, like more than 1,000 and something in Palermo, which is a lot. And this changes the dynamics of the lectures, of course, a lot. So you actually have differences in the way you follow things. And number 2, content-wise, I would say that it's more practical. So they give you stuff, they give you equations, they give you formulas, and they say, okay, yeah, fastly, this is the demonstration of the proof, but let's use it, but let's do something. But this is less about the fundamentals, is more about building stuff. And there's more physics, there's more electronics. There's actually an exam I didn't want to do. There was like theory of signals. It's one of the worst one. It's a lot about all the stuff that's about engineering, and we as computer scientists don't care about, because we just want the computer to work on it. We want to know how much power it has, what are the capabilities, but we don't want to go into the CPU and change the nanometers between one of the and the other so basically this is the main difference. Like there's more engineering in one and more science in the other. That's basically it. Then there are a lot of common areas, like in both there's programming, in both there's a lot of mathematics, but for example computer science as in Palermo as, how do you call it, it's like theoretical computer science, which is more about Turing machines and all the PNP problems, which in computer engineering I didn't see actually. So a lot of these people are just in engineering and not getting this info, which I think are good for our scientists if they want to challenge the status quo of the things and they want to understand limits in IT. In computer science is very important.
All right.
Did I answer, or was it...
No, yeah, of course. It's like when you hear computer engineering, it is more enticing. You feel, oh, computer engineering is more encompassing all the subject. But at the end of the day, you're just jiggling about logic gates and low-level details that are not exploding.
I'll tell you a story. If I remember correctly, and this has to be proven, but like, tell me if I'm wrong. There was the first programmer, Ada Lovelace. She convinced men to work in software engineering by calling it software engineering, because without the engineering word, there were less and less people that like would wake up and just go and start typing on machines stuff.
Oh, really?
So engineering was the word that convinced a lot of men to start working on these things.
I didn't know about that. That's interesting. It's like, yeah, clickbaity name to the first clickbait.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I don't know. I don't know. This is, yeah. Okay. So you suggest, by your experience, if you want to really dig into programming skills, take just information, not engineering. All right.
Yeah. Depends.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so fast forward, you stumble upon JPMorgan, which is a bank in London. You got your internship. How long have you been doing this? And are you doing this now, or?
Okay, so basically, I got the first one in Glasgow, in Scotland, 2 years ago now. Yes, in 2022, and then I got a return offer for 2023. So that's why I was in London this year, doing it again in a different city, enjoying the big city life. But yes, so it was amazing. It was very good. I loved the 9 weeks of each summer. Yeah, I mean, I live in Sicily. If any of you know Sicily, you know that actually summer is the best time to be in Sicily, and being like, oh yeah, I'll go to Scotland for the summer, and you could live in Sicily is mad. But you can think of me being like, living here for 20 years is fine if I skip a couple of summers. I don't care. And also I've been in Malaga for a semester this year, so actually I don't care about the sea anymore. I have it wherever I go. So yeah, it was actually good. I loved it. You have the chance to work with professionals. You have the chance to work with people that are in software engineering for 20 plus years, and you have the chance to know an area of not just computer science engineering, but of the world that you could not experience without being in the biggest bank in of the world, right? You have to be in JPMorgan to see how things work, how wires are connected, and to have the possibility to ask people about what they do. We did like half an hour meetups with traders or quant researchers, and it was amazing. It was one of the actual values of the internship, because yeah, you can learn how to write software better, but really the connections you make, they are the value, I would say.
Yeah, didn't you feel like overwhelmed? Wow, now I'm stepping inside JPMorgan. Imposter syndrome, like you. I won't be good enough.
Of course. Like, imagine a guy from a small town in Italy that has less than 10,000 people. And I was just doing tests for interviews for more than a month or two. I was destroying myself writing down links, because we can speak about this. And then at some point I get, hello, this is JPMorgan. We will want to. What? How did this happen? Am I really flying to the biggest company, biggest bank in the world, and I have the actual, I can work there. Nobody will kick me out.
That's very weird. No, that's very amazing.
That's cool. And you can do it from wherever. There were people from India, there were people from Italy, people from all in Europe, people from America. That's the great thing of a multinational. They can actually offer corporate. They can take people from wherever they want. They can put them together, and you have 9 weeks, or depends on the company, of experiencing connections with people that are completely different from you, not just in the background, but also where they live. Usually,
Sure.
I learned a lot.
That's an amazing experience, frankly. But it feels like, frankly, it is impossible for the average programmer. Like, I guess many people is asking you how the heck you did it, right? How did you hack the code, right? There is a famous book, Cracking the Code Interview, right? I guess you know about that. The green book, the famous green book. But
yes, for our friends that speak English, I would say that it's way easier to understand how these things work, because there have been a lot of people explaining it in English YouTube. In Italy, it was like kind of a new thing. So when I uploaded
you
the
first
video, it was like,
yeah.
In Italy, I think there's no one else speaking about internships in big tech. Yeah, big bank, big tech, call it whatever you want. Yeah. So when I uploaded it, was like, it was so nice. It was so nice. Okay, so you asked me, what's the trick? What's the hack? I would say, okay, with one of my friends from Data Pizza, maybe you know them. We love to say, I'll say it in Italian, then I'll translate it in English. We love to say, menti pensanti vanno contro un muro finché non lo spaccano, which means thinking minds they go against the wall until they break. They keep going. There's just no reason to stop. And actually, there's no hack. Okay, the real hack is to understand the pipeline and to optimize yourself for each point of the pipeline. I'm explaining this to people that are asking it, so I'm trying to also rationalize the process. But I would say that roughly, you start by I should present myself well, because I have to compete with 100,000 candidates. So they have to pick me for an interview, first of all. Then, so I have to have a good CV, good projects, good background. I have to sell me well, which is something programmers don't know how to do usually. And then you have to practice for interviews, which is a mess. You have to know a lot of lit codes. You have to break your head on competitive programming. And some people are lucky enough to have done this before. So if it's not your first time, then you are actually in a you are farther than others. And then you have the actual interview, which is different from being able to solve the lead code, because there's an engineer from Google, Apple, whatever and he's asking you these problems. Yes, there are gods asking you these problems. They're nice people. Usually they're very good people, but you know that they will decide if you get the internship or not, like in part, right? And so you speak with them and you have the pressure. There's a time limit. There's the follow-ups they give you. And this is the real experience. So you could be perfect at solving lit codes, but if you don't know how to interact with the interviewer and not being too pressured, this is the last step of the pipeline you have to optimize. And there's a way to optimize all of this. And I've spoken about it in Italian, but if you are interested in some of these parts, we can dig deeper.
So you're saying you have to be very good on a technical standpoint, so lead code, and practice a lot, but also optimize the human part, which is usually not very good for programmers. They cannot speak with humans anymore, right? People coding in assembly at night and forget about human nature. But
I think that, like using ChatGPT more, programmers are remembering how to write to people, because you have to explain it in a human language.
Yeah. But what practicing in lit code? So I saw you have a series of videos in which you train specific areas, for example, how to use recursion, how to use trees, data structures, and so forth, algorithms. So you would say pick an area, become very good on that, and sell yourself in that specific area, in that specific language. Or let's pretend all the people that is following me basically are students. Myself, I am a student. And what would you suggest you would approach your study to ask for an internship in a big company? You would become very good, very skilled in a certain area, in a certain language. But
we were speaking about the interview step, right? Not the one before. So the actually being noticed.
No, the before, the preparation.
Oh, the before. Okay. So to be noticed, usually what you want to do is, of course, for an internship you have to be in university for some reason. So you have to be master, bachelor, or PhD.
Yeah, just a little detail. All the people following me come from School 42. Probably you heard about
School 42. School 42.
42, like the magic number.
School 42.
School 42 is like an international campus in which people is studying without teachers. It is like a new kind of university. In Italy, we have in Rome, in Firenze. Yeah,
I never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like niche. It's not very, because it's a university without teachers. It's like strange, right? How do you know stuff?
Well, though. I would be curious of knowing how it works, because there are a lot of things I'm thinking. Okay, but yeah. So yeah. If it's not a recognized university, maybe you could have some trouble explaining this to the interviewers. But if you can insert it in the education spot in your CV and you can explain you're doing computer science for some reason. The important step is to get the interview. Okay, then you can show yourself with more practical. With a more practical approach, because if you can speak to a human, you can say stuff. In that space, I would say concentrate a lot into, apart from university, of course, into how to write well a CV. And before this, what to write in a CV. You should have work experience, or if you don't have work experience, projects, which are, I always say, it is the best thing to have in a CV if you're a student and you didn't work before. So either you worked and you explain well how what did you do in that work, you quantify your impact. These are things that we always repeat when we speak about CVs in my channel. And if you don't have work experience, you search for stuff you love and you do it on yourself. You don't care about being paid or doing it as a work experience. Just build stuff, and then you take it, you put it on GitHub, and you explain shit out of it in the CV. You put whatever you want, but you have to be you have to have how do you say, I would say initiative. Okay, you have to have initiative.
Well,
yes.
our school
don't
is exactly that, because the only thing we do is take a project, create, and fill GitHub. So GitHub becomes the new CV, allegedly, right? Yeah,
okay.
like now we are, for example, I'm creating a shell from scratch, Bash.
Yeah. Wow.
I have to recreate. Okay. This is crazy. This is a crazy project, but yeah, because a lot of people give up after this project in our school. There is like, it is a benchmark. If you can create a shell, you go on. Otherwise, you have to,
because you pass. You and another guy.
it's really but if you manage to to create a shell from scratch by yourself, I guess, like you're saying, it is a very good point for your CV.
Also, I would say if you want to apply to big bank, for example, right? So JPMorgan, Goldman Sachs, or whatever, it helps you if your projects are about banking in any way. If you want to apply for an AI role, or if you want to apply for a front-end role, like you can scope your projects to be more noticed in a specific area. Of course, this comes with disadvantages, because if you have just AI things, maybe you will not be selected for some other specific areas. But it's also important to be vertical on something, right? So you can show off that you have general knowledge of computer science, and then have specific projects about what you like. For example, I'll give you a practical example. My manager told me, Gabri, actually, I picked you for our blockchain project because you had a blockchain project and no one else had in the CV we received. So we just searched for blockchain. You were great. We did the interview. I loved it. Great. So go in the blockchain project. Without that project there, I would have never worked in that area in JPMorgan, which is very specific, and that's just one team in the whole company. So
you have this specific knowledge in this specific area, and you're pretty good. You have proof of work. So we can say that balance-wise, having projects is better than grades in school, in university, balance-wise. If you are a recruiter, let's pretend today you are a recruiter, and I come to you and I say, hey, I want to work for your startup. And what would you ask me? What would you prefer? I show you my degree, 110 and law with the academic kiss, and I'm the king of the new, or I created an app and people actually used it. Balance-wise, what is better?
Yeah, I think this is better. I mean, if you think about, yeah, I mean, of course, there's if you have been doing university for 10 years and it's a 3-year graduation, maybe there's a problem in the way you commit to things. So the recruiter would look at this like, I don't know. But if you are average at university and then you have great things to show off, this is more important than having 10 and 100. In software engineering is different than in a lot of other places where they actually look at the mark, right? They look at the number between your name and university. Your name and the university name. In our space, it's more about, okay, you can be great with theory, but what can you do? What can you learn? What did you do in the past? It's more important, I would say. And they search for specific technology. They know you are at uni. You are applying for an internship. Usually you are studying something, okay? So I will search for something that differentiate you. And for my first application, actually this week we should post a video about the first CV I used. My first CV was, your education, some work experience, and then 3 MVPs I developed for myself. So things I thought that were useful, and some of them actually had a couple of users. So it was like showing I had initiative with some specific technology, with some specific areas. So this is more important, I would say. This is really more important than whatever. And also Olympiads. If you do Olympiads, do you say? Olympiads? No. Is it the right name? Olimpiadi? Di matematica, di informatica.
Ok. Anche questo vale.
If you join,
even this
it's really important, because they know that if you have done like computer science, informatics Olympics, this is the word, you will probably be better at the interviews. So they take you so that you will pass the interview and they fill a spot. Usually, it's not the rule, of course.
So you say that, okay, university is important. This is a golden ticket to get into places, but look a lot about side projects, side hustles that you can make. I know that you have created an app, like Edu Carnival, Edu something.
Oh, that
like
thing,
back
yeah.
in the days. Educarnio.
When I was young,
And I was
yeah,
a
it
kid.
was a great thing. I always thank you, my professor, for this. I was in third year of high school. For us is where when you have 16 years, right, in Italy. And I was really lucky because the professor comes one day, he's like, okay, the MUR, which is the institution of education for Italy, wants us to do this up, blah blah, and I have to take 3 or 4 students that are maybe like good, and they want to break their head on something. And he selected me and a couple of others. And I was so happy to work on this because we had the possibility to add a have a full work experience from the start to finish in like 3-4 months. And then we maintained this app for 1 or 2 years. And it was a big app actually. Like we had 50,000 users
Wow.
at peak.
Come on.
Yeah. It was actually great, and it was mandatory to use it in a lot of ways. Like we were lucky, okay, to be in a project that was sponsored by Italy, basically, for our region, for Sicily, and it was used by all schools because they had to like download it to scan their project for the carnival and vote it if they wanted to do it. It was actually complicated as an app. It was like real-time database that had a real-time leaderboard, a bit of system design to make it good. We're doing a lot of stuff, front end, back end, and we were just 16, so it was not easy. But it was the experience, I think, that made me click and made me understand you can do whatever you want. Just spend some time on it and you will find the solution. Apart from the numbers and the things you can show off on the CV, I would say that all that come after was because the professor took me and said, okay, you can do this. I think you can do this. And it convinced me I could do this. And when I did it, I was like, fuck, I can do even more. Let's do more. Yeah. And then I started experiencing ideas and practicing frameworks and stuff.
Well, I guess that's amazing. When you solve with code real problems, I guess that's when, oh, this stuff is not only to print hello in the screen. You can do stuff that solve problems, right?
I mean, I hope you move forward at some point. Yes, that's true.
But let's talk these last minutes, unfortunately, to specifically, which language do you use on a daily basis? You work on a blockchain, as you told me. What language do you use? There are specific frameworks or something?
Yes, worked in blockchain until the end of the internship, which was a month ago. Now I'm back in Italy until my graduation because I had to graduate, So I'm working with a startup that maybe it's Data Pizza. They have a platform we built. It's not about blockchain. So in the internship, what I used to use was Solidity, of course, blockchain wise, because it's the way you write smart contracts.
Ethereum, right, is written in Solidity.
Yes. Okay. Ethereum the EVM is based in Solidity. So this and then all the rest was frameworks that help you connect the full stack application to the blockchain and to smart contracts. Like Truffle is well known. We use Truffle and all the Truffle testing that related to it, and all the event relaying, because there's a lot in blockchain that works like you need events to be passed to a real database to then be processed. So there's the blockchain, there's the database, and there's the full stack application. For the blockchain, you want to have events that gets picked up and put in your database, and then your app will react with those events, right? And all of this is a pipeline that we built during the internship. It was amazing to see how you could actually take this data and make it real time, make it efficient, make it useful. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to know like the specific technology. We basically use the classic React plus Java Spring Boot for the full stack application. Then Solidity for the smart contracts, and the blockchain was built by another team in JPMorgan, which is very famous. It's called Onyx. Maybe some of you have heard of it.
Onyx from Unix, right? Mocking on Unix?
No, I think Onyx is from Pokemon, because like Onyx is the Pokemon, it's made of rocks all together. Yeah, and it's like the blockchain. I don't know. But yeah, actually, it's very cool, and they built the blockchain, the infrastructure, which is made in probably the classical Ethereum blockchain, just closed, because they use the closed version of Ethereum. It's called Quorum, yeah. So this is the technical info for some of you that want to experience.
Wow, that's, I guess, that can be another podcast, right? You're pretty good with blockchains. You understand everything from the ground up.
Enough.
So
Enough. Yeah.
Bitcoin? Is it scam or is it a thing? Right, the famous question is like a place for scammers, or is like
I know the technicals behind it. I don't know the future, so I would say that Bitcoin specifically, don't really believe in it.
You don't?
But there's some interesting. I don't really want to be hated for this, but I had some Bitcoins. I traded a bit, but
okay.
I don't believe in the fact that it can be the new coin and whatever.
All right.
No, the blockchain per se is something that you want to use for other things. I would say to make cash digital, but not in the space of common users. They will never have the app and connect with their wallet to an Ethereum blockchain. No, people are tired of learning stuff about technology, I would say.
Okay, so maybe we can talk about this.
We can speak about it, but yeah, whatever.
And the last thing, my channel is about C programming language, which is very old, right? It's like what the heck, why are you studying C programming language? What is the purpose? And in all our schools, which are School 42, and as well there is in Africa another school which is AX something, like in every place in the planet are popping, like everyone proposes C, which is very low level. In the real world, you don't use it, right? Nobody in the FANG startups and stuff use it, right?
Depends. C++ is used
C++, okay, C, right? No, C is very.
C is like it's good. C is good
to understand stuff.
Yes, C is so good to understand. I would say when they ask me, "I C to start," I would say if you get scared with C, maybe you should not be doing computer science, because C is like you can go gradual with it. You can learn slowly, and it has everything. It has pointers. It has all the data structure possible, right? And you can build things from the ground up. So if you can take that slope and try to learn that way, you have the strength to go.
So C is like the tapestry at the bottom of your knowledge, right? We can say that, because Python is like here in one line you can do a lot of stuff. In C is like a block.
Yeah. So some people are saying like if you start with Python, then more people will get passionate about it. Yeah, I could be okay with this, but also it's too simple sometimes, and you want to explain the basics before you explain the set or the dictionary, right? The Python just gives you like, yeah, this is a dictionary. No, I want to see how it works on the memory, and then we can build it up. And then
so you would say C, Python, you rise up. If you're crazy enough, you go down to assembly.
I did like C, Java, Python. This is the C, assembly, Java, Python. Yeah, C, assembly, Java, Python. This is.
And you feel very confident about your knowledge, so yeah, you can say
I would say
pretty good.
I would say so. Yeah.
All right, perfect. And Gabriel, I think you gave us a lot of good information about your experience. Thank you very much about that. Maybe we are gonna do something about Bitcoin if you have time. Probably you're super busy.
I'm not an expert. But I work with it.
Oh, come on, you work in you can JPMorgan and a Bitcoin play. I mean, you're not the scammer on Twitter, like buy Bitcoin. No, you're not that level. You're much better.
Not yet.
You will. All right. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Okay.